The House of Representatives has voted to overturn Biden's EV mandate. We let them know where we stood on H.R. 4468, which is a bill prohibiting the EPA from implementing a mandate to only buy electric vehicles. Now, this is the first step in stopping the EPA from restricting what types of vehicles can be offered, allowing you and the market to decide what is sold. Now, the House of Representatives on December 6 voted to pass a bill that would block a proposed rule by the EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency, to effectively mandate that most cars produced in the United States to be fully electric by 2032. You spoke out, and some elected officials actually heard you. The bill H.R. 4468, dubbed the Choice in Automobile Retail Sales, or CARS Act of 2023, passed the House by 221 to 197 vote. That included total GOP support and some Democrats that were seeking to have the bill sent back to committee. The bill would block an EPA rule that would require roughly 68% of cars produced in the United States to be fully electric by 2032. The electric vehicle mandate rule is supported by President Joe Biden and his administration, and Republicans have rallied against proposed standards, which they say are unrealistic and threaten to undermine consumer freedom, as well as increasing U.S. dependence on China, because around 90% of the rare earth minerals used to create these electric vehicle batteries are from China. While we are supportive of the free market producing electric vehicles to satisfy a market need, that is misguided EPA mandate would have an immediate detrimental impact on the choices and affordability of cars, trucks, and SUVs available to our constituents, said the Republican signatories. Specifically, those who signed the letter pushed for the inclusion of the reversal of the EV standards to be included in the final draft of the 2024 government funding. And quote, not only would the EPA's proposed regulation hurt America's national security, but it would severely limit consumer choice for the affordable vehicles that fit the needs of the average American, close quote, they wrote. In addition, at the time of inflation, high interest rates, and rising costs, the last thing Americans need to find, both new and used vehicles, is unaffordable because the EPA has mandates. The National Auto Dealers Association has also criticized the EPA rule, which they called too far, too fast, in a December 5th press conference in support of the measure to overturn the rule prior to the vote on the floor. They stated that this standard is unattainable, it's unaffordable, and it's unrealistic. Representative Lisa McClain of Michigan agreed, saying that the notion that most vehicles should be fully electric by 2032 is ridiculous. She said if we force automakers to do this, they will bleed money, which will mean layoffs for employees and their families who are already struggling under the administration, and manufacturing will move outside the United States. This is not good for our taxpayers. Representative Chip Roy of Texas, another enthusiast supporter of the proposal, raised a series of concerns about the potential effect of the mandate, specifically the instability of the U.S. electric grid, which is currently unable to support the large-scale movement toward EVs. As proof of this, he pointed to the case in California a few years ago when Governor Gavin Newsom asked Californians not to charge their EVs between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. due to the strains on the electric grid. And quote, what do we do when you're stuck? What do you do when your wife is pregnant or you have to get to the hospital? Close quote. Despite this bill passing in the House, the legislation seems unlikely to pass in the Senate, where the Democrats hold a majority. And even if it did pass in the Senate, President Biden has promised to veto the bill. In the United States, the president can use this veto power to prevent a bill from passing through Congress and becoming a law, and Congress can override that veto by 2/3 of the vote in both chambers. So now it's time to start making some phone calls and some emails and some letter writing. However, Republicans are unusually united behind this effort to overturn this rule, and some Democrats are also in support of removing the mandate in the House. That is good, and this electric vehicle mandate could become a key point of negotiations over the spending in the next year. It could also be involved in the presidential election of 2024, which we're already seeing. Now, what if you were forced to buy something you didn't want? Remember, the CARS Act also prevents regulations that would mandate certain technologies or limit the availability of vehicles based on the engine type. So what can you do? Okay, reach out to your senators, reach out to your representatives, tell them you support them, call, write, email, whatever it takes to let them know not to get this wrong. Your voice is important. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you got questions or comments, I'm sure you will. I'll be happy to answer. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, plus all the links for our website, social media, the book, and the podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.